So yeah, I'm going to be reading from Transitions, which is a collection about sort of identity politics and sexuality and gender. This first one's called The Scent. I pick up the scent, the shedding slither hiding in the new spores from the jettisoned, packed up with all of the coughs that no one set eyes on, but all shrug in a ballet for the real men. The scent conducts from us all, but the ballet is too old to be quizzed. It dances across dung-heaped deserts, tasting as it follows the fork's licking that senses the stench of easy rides and cheap lies tossed upon red carpets like they're holy. Brushed up and sold on again in jars labelled, "Forget the scent, child." Thank you. And this next poem is called Free Parking. A dream of the stiff, chasing the pliable, wincing through scorched tyres, a leaking peak into flesh, bursting. Here on this tarmac, we tested our nerves, approaching strange men in knackered hatchbacks. Some wish they could forget, but they'd have to go back. Years on, he'd be the only one parked, waiting for another nudge wink of headlights, calling with cute curled fingers, chasing the malleable moist with steel stealings. Thank you. We're ready for a bit of filth? Alfred Kinsey once wrote that the only abnormal sex act is the one you can't do, and this one is called fist. A fist dipped into oil warmed, he leaned back. You've been warned. I sigh. Begin the first digit push. Hold. Wait for his blood to rush. 2 digit, 3 digit, 4. A palm. Take 3 deep breaths. Stay calm. Looking up, I see Sebastian's face, stricken between agony and grace, as taut skin elasticates a wet wrist, pulsates in the puncture of a fist, and calls the limb in soft tides of sphincter spasms as I guide a greased bow between legs. Hooked behind elbows, he begs, one more push. Totally exposed, on his back curled and me enclosed within, I adore you, he hissed. The surge withdraws and we kissed, roll over to sleep, back against chest. In a yin-yang of devotion we rest. Thank you. And my next poem is titled Whiskey Tainted Kiss. I still taste whiskey-tainted kisses from that night, and I still scratch at the scars from talons painted black, tearing at my hide from that night. You almost told me to stop. I heard you say, "St." Lashed with lace scarves to bedposts as you left me lightless and sipped Jack Daniels with our new neighbours who'd never guess you had it in you. Now I just need to figure how to get the op out of you. Those were the only words muttered between the planting of whiskey-tainted kisses. Thank you. And this next one is called Lessons. At Cub Scout camp, Stephen asked if I'd help him out. I need a lesson. You've done it before. We spent an hour pretending my lips were Lydia's. I recall being dragged to dance lessons where prepubescent flesh stuffed into the fetish of tight black leotards made organs quiver. Stephen shrugged me off a month later in front of the rest of the group. At 16, Stella, strapped like a man, stuffed 6 inches of pink glittered silicone into me. Back in the children's library, I was sent for distraction, transfixed. An illustrated book about Elvis made organs quiver. Stella joined the Tories a year on and forgot how well she knew me. Lesson. They're silencing silences. Thank you. And I'll finish with this poem called The Feast. Everyone's an expert now, sprouting girls alike and boys alike. They sniff at branches, poaching seeds in exotic broths, reducing, if he's a twink, he must be. They plant and sow manure on manure, and the spores spread with fashion phrase crotchets, like cut-ups frozen in nitrogen and crumbled on platters and sieved through. Each take their share to season, each bend the yield, directing blah blah batty, blah blah blame. I gasp and tut, but don't correct them. Everyone is crouched, huddled around their plates, protecting the feast that ferments and flowers. Thank you.
Robert. Excellent. We're going to have Pippa now to close the night. So, you all know Pippa Little, yes. So, a big round of applause for Pippa Little, everyone.